running events virtually. This is the topic of the day. We have quite a diverse mix of different roles, decision-making influencers, also from different industries, technology, sales, and other industries and other sectors. And we know that we in the past few months, what has happened is that we dealt with this. We started dealing with a new world. The pandemic hit. I'm not going to touch on that. We receive a lot of noise about it already, but it impacted our lives. It impacted the way we do business. And in different roles that we are in, we tend to attend, organize, or participate in different events. It used to be a space to network, to actually connect with peers and have a drink, probably eat something. And it's not happening anymore. Everything is moved to the virtual space. So it is a big change, but the change is not necessarily a bad thing. It pushes us to our limits. It makes us think twice about the old ways of doing business. And there's definitely opportunity in that. Now, there are two ways to respond to change. Either we are condemned to what's happening around us and we have to just go with the flow and accept our fate and probably fail at some point, or we need to get our act together and shape the future by ourselves with our peers. And this also includes the space of events. Events is about connecting, is about promoting your message out there. I'm connecting you from Dubai. Dubai is one of the top cities in the world from the perspective of business events. Millions of people come to the city every single year, and billions of dollars of GDP is contributed only from tourism and business events. None of it exists anymore. Actually, for the very first time in 2020, we are having an event after the pandemic tomorrow. It's called AI Everything. We're going to participate. And if you're in Dubai, please head to the Trade Center and visit us. We want to know what this new norm looks like. However, coming back to the digital space, a lot of things have changed. And now it's time for us to take the opportunity, not to just be grumpy about what we lost, but look at the opportunity and maximize it. Within the space of online events, we all know that we have increased reach. If we had a seminar last year, we could have invited 200 people, and the space was limited. People had to travel, and we had to deal with a lot of logistics. Now we just need a webcam and a good internet connection to set up a virtual meeting. Availability of it is also much more increased. People do not need to travel. They can just, from any time zone, to connect and interact with each other. That's another opportunity which we have to take advantage of. Today, imagine if this was a physical event, a part of Zoholics or one of our workshops, we might not have the pleasure of having some of you guys from Africa, because who travels for 9 hours to attend a 1 hour or a half day meeting unless it's really, really important? But today we're doing it virtually. You can just easily connect it. These seem obvious, but before the pandemic, we tried almost for 10 years to tell the market, to tell businesses that this is the opportunity and this is the future. Hybrid events are going to be the future. Human element is irreplaceable for the years to come, but we need to embrace the features and capabilities and the uniqueness of the online space. We learned a lot. We learned a lot in the past few months. We started working from home since March. 8,000 employees in Zoho started working from home. We practically shut down every physical event. We retracted our participation, even if an event was going on, because safety comes first. And we learned a lot in this past few months. Even this very session today, we're going to be learning more compared to what we learned 2 weeks ago from previous session. And I'd like to share some of the stuff we learned. And I'm sure you've been participating in a lot of webinars. You've seen things that you really loved, and you've seen that you were like, oh, what the hell is going on? So these are some of the things we learned, and I think it's good to also share with you. The most important thing I learned personally is the answer to this question. Every time I want to participate in a webinar, or every time we want to do a webinar or a session or an online training or a course, anything virtual, we need to ask, do I need to watch this session live, or I can just watch the recording later? If the answer to this question is that I can watch it later, or if the answer is a hesitant maybe, means that this event is not worth being a live event. It does not add the value that it needs to add. So every time we should ask this question. If the event is delivering the quality, the interaction, the dynamism, and the engagement of a live event, then that is an event worth having. Now, there are requirements for a good event. There are things that we need to do, and some of them are refined marketing. But previously, for any kind of event, even a small seminar, even an HR meeting with the employees, you have to do marketing, either internally or externally. What happens is that within the new norm, where your access to external marketing platforms are limited or non-existent, you have to be more creative. You have to make sure that you reach your audience better. There's a lot of noise. Everybody's doing webinars, everybody has courses, and a lot of free content out there. Most of them may not be up to the standard, but there's a lot of noise, and your message has to go through the noise and engage people and motivate them to come and attend a live event. Event management is another thing that we should not forget. It's not just an email that goes out, people sign up and show up, and then we talk and that's done. It is still a full-on event. Right now, this session is managed by at least 10 people in the background. They take care of the software, they have taken care of the logistics and all of that. Of course, a smaller event could need less. We have people in the attendees today that maybe they have smaller businesses, five people in the business. So you don't have those resources, but fear not. Technology is here to help you, and a little bit of experience. Another thing which seems very obvious but often is missing from different events is an engaging agenda and content. So, and also engaging speakers. These go hand in hand. Sometimes you need to bring someone who is important in the community to make sure that people attend your session. And the speakers need to be more engaging. They need to be able to engage with the audience, bring their own followers, and make sure that the content is smooth. You tell a story across your session. Now, if this is a technical training, the topic is very clear. You know what you're telling, and people know what they've signed up for. But if it's about business, if it's about promoting yourself or a thought leadership session, you need to be able to tell a story across the session. And this becomes more challenging if you have multiple speakers, especially from multiple backgrounds. So choreography and proper event management are key to the success of your event. An interactive environment is also very important. Pre, during, and post event. You have to create the space of conversation, be it in the chat box or questions or surveys and polls, or an app for your event if it's a full-on big event, to make sure that people stay engaged, they interact with each other, and they get the most out of the session that you're bringing them to. Time management is another thing. I've been attending webinars that were promised to finish in 1 hour or 2 hours, but it took actually much longer. And the speakers actually asked for permission to talk for like twice as much they were allowed. 5 minutes, 7 minutes is okay. But if you're going 30 minutes, over time, that will definitely reduce the engagement, especially that people might be connecting from time zones where it is late in their local place. Probably all of this culminates into one thing. When the audience leaves your session, they have learned something. They had an aha moment. They enjoyed their time, and they took a few screenshots. They downloaded the material or the slide deck, and they took a few notes. You have to leave inspired. Different levels, of course, or have learned something. That is where and when we know that we achieved something. And to evaluate this, you can always use post-event surveys and polls. Of course, all of this happens with technology. The foundation of it is technology. Only technology will not work. You still need the human element. You need great content and great choreography, but also you need reliable technology. Privacy is a top priority today. I know governments, they need privacy. They have to have secure connection. The event has to be secure, the invitation only environment, and all of that. But businesses more and more need privacy and more robust technologies and infrastructure that does not compromise the confidentiality of the content that they are sharing, or the topics that they are discussing. They need to feel safe and secure. We need to know if right now my video feed, is it being mined by the AI? Am I being monitored and analyzed? Do I trust the big brother who's providing me with free service, free webinar tools, and God knows what they're going to do, how they're going to feed my video to their AI? Or is the connection secure? Can people snoop into my connection? We had a lot of controversy recently with certain providers. Had very good software, but they were careless with privacy. So privacy matters. Another thing about privacy is that nowadays we put our kids to school, to virtual school. They are alone with a computer, with a webcam. They are being captured. They're connecting to the school. Privacy becomes even more important when you have kids involved. So you got to trust the system that you're using. Got to focus from technological perspective about the audience and organizational requirement. What does my audience need? What is the demographics of my audience? If they are tech savvy business owners, then they can handle complicated environments. If I'm talking with probably a less tech savvy audience, the environment has to be very minimal and very simple, accessible with one click. If I have most of my audience tuning in from mobile devices, we need to provide mobile apps. And then rural areas, maybe connection is not that reliable. So let's not play videos that much and rely on just voice or just minimal audio video. So these kind of requirements need to be assessed. So we need to know our audience as well. User experience is something that actually connects back to this. Is about ease of use, is about from the moment a user receives an invitation email in their inbox to the moment that they sign up, attend, and receive the survey and a thank you email. That whole journey has to be very smooth and straightforward. They have to actually be delighted, not to be interrupted or annoyed during the process. The technology has to be scalable. Today we have more than 50 attendees, but this technology is capable of handling 10 times of the sessions. It should be more than that. So again, we have to look into what level of scalability we need from the technology. And integrations is another important aspect of it. If you're using the video, the event tool from one vendor, a CRM from another vendor, the email marketing from a third party, or probably an Excel file in Outlook, then the integration does not exist. You want a tool that allows you to manage the event so the experience is optimum, deliver the content in the best way possible, load the data from email campaign software so you can market pre and post event properly and gather intelligence, understand what your viewer experienced and what they want for the next session. So integration of the virtual event platforms with other marketing and sales platforms is very, very vital. Affordability is another thing. Yes, now all of the major providers they're offering, especially the limited offerings for free. But this is not free forever. We have to see how affordable it is for us and plan for the future. Today we have 50 people. We might have 5,000 people in the next sessions. And is the combination of the ecosystem I just talked about, is it also affordable or not? There are also dependencies. This is probably the most challenging section. There have three levels of dependency, just to put it simply, when you're doing an event. There's internal dependency, which is your own people. You have to make sure the speakers, if they are from your company or guest speakers, they have reliable internet connection, the lighting is good, the mic is good, they're using the latest version of the software and everything. Then you have the dependency that is about technology, the technology stack. That's actually the least problematic because almost all of the major providers, they offer a very good service. The software is advanced, the service is very reliable. The most challenging dependency is the audience, you guys, because we don't know how your internet connection is. We don't know what your browser is. We don't know from which device you're connecting. So we have to make sure that we are ready. The technology can provide the tools needed to offer that maximum value. With Zoho Showtime specifically, when you sign up, we can understand which browser is your preferred browser, which device you're connecting from. So some of the questions are answered. If we see that majority of people signed up for today's event from an Android device, Android mobile, we'll know that you have limited screen real estate. So we might not show you tiny details on slides. We might just focus on big text. But still we don't know your internet connection. Those are the dependencies that you have to provision for. It's out of your control. You just have to provision for. So that's about it. We can talk about this for much longer, but you can find more information later, and we'll be happy to help you and share with you some of the experiences we had. We have a good session for you today. What we wish for you is to take away as much as you can, ask all your questions, and invite us to your next event. We'd like to see what you're doing with our software and your great content. Thank you so much.